Hi, it's Heidi, your pottery pal, and it's time for another video installment of Pottery in the Chicken Coop. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to combine what we have learned. We're going to combine slip casting and screen printing for image transfer, right? So what we're going to make today is we're going to slip cast a mug, a handle. We're going to attach the handle to the mug, and then we will screen print some images that we're going to put onto the mug, and then we'll put the images on the mug. And it's going to look similar to this. So stick around. Oh, wait, there's something I mean to say every video and I forget. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. So feel free. All right, now let's get started. Okay, so we have the mug mold. Let's see inside. And then we have the handle mold. I'll take this apart so you can see what it looks like. Just a two-part mold with the handles. It's one handle. If you're interested in making your own handle mold, I did write an article a couple years ago for Pottery Making Illustrated on how to make a handle mold. I'll put a link to that in the description. I keep the rubber band on these so that they don't warp. And what we're going to do is we're going to cast those really quick. The pump handle was stuck on, but I got it fixed. Anyway, so when those are ready to dump, I'll get back on. Okay, so this has been sitting for 40 minutes. We're going to dump it. I'm going to dump the handle. Nothing usually comes out of the handle. No, I don't usually wear gloves when I cast. I cut my hand. So I just tip it upside down. I'll show you in 1 second. And then for the mug, we're just going to dump it. The slip has been a little thick lately. If you watch last week's video, my deflocculant's a little messed up, so I'm a little more aggressive than normal. You can see inside, and then I'm just going to flip it upside down to let it dry, like these are over there. Okay, so next we'll clean them up. Okay, so we're back, and our molds are ready to clean up, so let's get started. Just taking my green mud tools green rib, and cutting gently around it. I'm just going to go back over that gently. And I just wait until the casting slip sets up a little. You don't want it too stiff or you will crack the piece. And then we'll set this aside and let it sit like this overnight. And then I'm just going to clean up the handle. Just clean up this excess slip. The reason I do all this cleaning up is because, you know, dry clay is not good for your lungs. So I just try and do as much wet work as possible. And people might think I'm a little persnickety, but I like to breathe. Okay, so we're going to let these sit overnight and then we'll take them out tomorrow. Okay, it is the next day and the mug mold and the handle mold have set up, so it's time to remove the pieces from the mold. I gotta grab a banding wheel. We'll start with the mug, and I just gently lift it out. It's like if I squeezed it really hard, it would flex, but it's still it's pliable, but not too much. It's like the perfect consistency to put a handle on a mug. I'm just going to clean this rim up. And I'm just compressing Now, if I do a bunch of these, I do it on the wheel. I'll have to show you that. Um, the lighting isn't that great over there. And I'm just trying to take that sharp edge off while keeping the shape. So let's see, this looks good. It does bring out some of those speckles, but that's okay. We can clean that up later. So I'm just gonna set that aside for a second. We're gonna take the handle mold, zoom in a little. I'm gonna just gently pull it apart. Okay. And that's the handle. So what we're gonna do is we need to cut these little wells off. So you just want to put it down and just trim off that piece. That can be recycled. And then there's that seam line in there. You just have to clean that up. And then the seam line on the inside. I'll clean that up more later, but that's good for now. And so what's going to happen is we're going to take the handle, I'm going to attach it to the mug. Right? Just like that. Okay, so now it's time to do some screen printing for our mug. And I know that I said that we were going to make this mug, but then I realized that the customer didn't want this exact pattern. It is going to still be a bicycle mug, but I'll show you. And I have the screen with all these different illustrations of mine on it. So we are going to screen print this design. So let's do that. This is just newsprint that I purchased from U-Haul. This is a Speedball Black Underglaze. It's just, I put it in a different container. So for this piece, we're still going to do a bike, and then we're going to do a different screen for the background. We're just not going to do that green grid. So let's screen. Let's see how that looks. Beautiful. All right. So next we're going to do the background. Okay, and now for the background. I'm gonna do something a little different. So this is a piece I made last fall, and I liked the idea. The execution was not the greatest. So I took 3 colors and I kind of screen printed them over each other. And it's kind of cool because you can see like where they blended, where they overlapped. The slip really peeled off on this, so I never sold it. So today, what I'm going to show you is how to do a technique similar to that, but I'm going to use some different colors. Blue, I'm going to do blues, and then I'm going to do a variation with a green. So it's going to be a full, well, there'll be 3 colors on one and 3 colors on the other, but you'll see. It'll make sense. So we're going to take our piece of newsprint. So what I do is I just print one color and then I shift the screen down with the next color. Okay, so there'll be this long strip of color. So the first color we're going to use is medium blue. It's Speedball medium blue. Put a bead down. And let's print. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, it looks beautiful. Okay, so then we're going to let that dry and we're going to continue down with the different colors. Okay, so the blue has dried. Clean the screen out. Now we're going to do the robin's egg, the Speedball robin's egg. And so you can see like this was the pattern, but I don't want it lined up right on top, right? I want it slightly askew. So, trying to think, like a third of the way down. Should we be good? Trying to line up a little. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. So we're gonna get the robin's egg. We're gonna screen print this. Let's go. See how it looks. Oh, very cool. All right, so let this dry and then I will do one of the other colors. Okay, so we're on to our third color. These are only going to be 3 colors, but there's going to be 2 variations. So this is Blue Frost, Speedball Blue Frost. And this shifted, this is more of a shift than I wanted, so I'm going to go up a little. I do want an area where all 3 colors overlap, so right here. Okay, so let's do it. This is very thick. All right, let's print. See how it looks. Oh, it looks great. Okay, so let's do the other green. Okay, now we're on our last color variation. We're gonna do the chartreuse, Speedball Underglaze chartreuse. And I'm gonna line it up again. I would like all 3 colors overlap and at a point. So let's do it. Let's print. Let's see how it looks. Oh, it looks good. Good, good, good. All right. So we're going to let these dry and then we're going to decorate some mugs. Okay, we're back. We did all our screen printing. All the prints are dry. And so now it's time to decorate our mug that we cast. So I just started recently decorating the mugs first and then putting the handle on. So I will show you that. And the first thing I always like to do is put a thin coat of slip on my my piece, so we'll start with that. So that has a chance to set up. You don't have to do this necessarily. I've just found that my transfers stick better when I do this. And it's just a very thin coat. And then if you watch some of the previous videos, you will see that some of them popped. So, you know, ceramics. Okay, so there's that good, just a thin coat. Set that aside. Set this slip aside for a second. And we have, I don't need all these spoons. We have all our transfers. So I cut all the little bikes out, and we're just going to put those down. I have 4 mugs that I'm making. I'm just going to show you how to do one. So these, I'm not going to use all these bicycles. And I'm just going to cut around it. There's one. And let's cut another one. And if you want more white space, you don't have to cut around it this tight. Just personal choice. Okay. And then what we need to do, let's see how dry, if this is still really wet. Oh no, it's pretty dry. Okay, so I showed you this mug as an example, which is fine. So I need 2 bikes, right? There's going to be one here, but I'm also going to put another one on the back side. We need the wraparound. So we have this. Okay, so I made a template for my mug. It looks insane. So the mug, even though it is a straight-sided mug, you know, these are slip casts, so you want them to be a little more narrow at the top than the bottom so they come out of the mold. But what happens is when I take a straight strip and I wrap it around the mug, it kind of puckers. So I made this. So it says this side up. This is the side that I trace on the transfer, but I'll show you how it wraps before we get started. Just wraps around. So if I cut my piece of transfer to that size, it will fit the mug. I just stopped because I was like, if the handle goes, okay, that's fine. And what I was thinking was, because I usually put the handle on first, well, I just have to make sure that I put the mugs far enough, or not the mugs, the bicycles far enough apart. Okay, so let me just start by tracing this, and I'm gonna put it kind of right here in the middle because I want as much of the color as possible. So I'm just gonna trace that. Okay, and I'm gonna cut that out. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. And I'm going to write on the table, top, bottom, so I know how to wrap the mug. I'm just grabbing a couple tools, and I'm going to start painting the slip on the bikes. Working with a glove is very strange. I just feel like I just can't like grab anything. Okay, so we're also gonna do this. Okay, so let's put those bikes on. Just gonna put them right in the middle. I'm gonna really saturate this. When you do multiple layers, you want the first layer that you apply to be nice and wet. And then we're gonna put on the second bike. I'm just gonna flip it before I wet it. I'm just checking. So it's splits pretty evenly. One bike on one side, one bike on the other. Okay. So now we're gonna do the wrap. Maybe. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait a second. The reason I'm gonna wait 1 second is because it's just gonna be easier. See how it kind of folded up on itself? I'm also gonna grab a towel. I can set this here. That is the top. This is the bottom. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna go like this. Right? I'm just gonna gently. This isn't working as well as I anticipated. That's all right. I'll make it work. Okay. That wasn't as seamless as I had hoped, but we'll make it work. Okay, so we're just going to gently compress. First time around is just gentle compression. Try and get any of those air bubbles or creases out. Okay, now we'll go back through and apply more pressure. And again, I always use my hand to brace it. Particularly when I am applying more pressure, I don't want to distort the mug. gonna test it. Looking good. Excuse me. I'm just gonna compress a little more. Some finishing touches. See if there are just any spots that might be sticking out. And now we're gonna just gently peel. Now remember, if you watch these videos before, I'm not gonna panic because the bicycle is under there, so transfer doesn't usually stick. For a second, I thought I put the bike on upside down. I did not. And you can see all the layers of underglaze. There's another bicycle. Remember, it's not going to stick to that. This is looking good. And then where this seam is, that's where we'll put the handle. So I'm just going to pull off the bikes. That was sticking out. Missing part of the bike. There we go. Oh, missing part of the seat. There we go. Oh, missing another part of the bike. There's the, oh, that looks good. Yeah. Okay, there. Let's peel that other bike. Cute. That looks good. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up for a second. We'll go over it with the pony roller and then we will add a handle. Okay, so the mug has set up a little. It looks good. We're gonna apply the handle first. I'm gonna put it right here. And then I'll go over it with the pony roller. So this is just a little container of casting slip. I just keep on hand for handles. Ha ha ha. Just mix it up. And the reason I can do this is because, well, I mean, you could slip and score, but when you attach a handle on a cast piece, you don't have to score or slip. Well, it's not true. You don't have to score, but you dip it and slip. So I just put a little slip on the ends, and then we're just gonna pick it up, and we're just gonna put it right on the piece. Gently wiggle. See how even it is. You also want to see how center it is on the mug. And then I'm just going to set it down a second so I can apply pressure. So what I do is I just kind of push and kind of wiggle a little. Push and then wiggle. There's a little excess slip. Just take your finger and get that off. And then what I'll do with this piece is I'll go ahead and glaze the handle and the interior of the mug the same color. I'm just going to wiggle a little more, apply a little more pressure. And then I'm just going to work the handle a little bit. Take my sponge, smooth it. Not worried. I'm not too worried if I get slip around the handle. I can scrape it off later. That looks good. Good. And now we're going to take our pony roller and just smooth out any areas that might have peeled up. And again, when you do this, you want to brace it. There's a little piece right there. And that looks good. Our mug is complete. It's cute. Very cute. Remember, pottery is better with a pal. So if you liked this video, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. I'll see you next week. Bye.